Alrighty, so welcome Wildwood. So this will be virtual Wildwood. Hope you all had a great March break with your families. Hope you guys were able to relax for a little bit. But we're gonna continue on with this e-learning. It's new for me, new for you guys as well. So we're on this journey together. We're gonna begin where we left off right before March break. So we're gonna start on lesson 54. Before we start that, Mrs. Nielsen and I have decided that we're going to teach this together. So the math group is going to be divided into two different classes. So we've already reached out to who's in our class, but we're going to take turns with the videos. So one day I'll be making the video for you guys, and then the next day Mrs. Nielsen will be making the math video. In addition to the videos, we'll post that every day for each class. We're going to post the lesson sheets. You guys have all seen these. So we're gonna start this class by just doing the first 4 parts. It's gonna be a little bit different. I'm going to do some of the parts of the lesson, and then we'll do a few examples, and then I want you guys to do the rest or practice on your own. So let's begin. So for part 1, I'm gonna also be reading from the manual for you guys. So guys, we're going to be looking at part 1 of lesson 54. So you're given a number line, just like this. And then underneath you have A, B, and C. So you have the fractions 2/5, 19/5, and 13/5. And then if we're looking at our number line, it goes from 0 to 4, and then it tells us what the fraction is at each whole number. So when the whole number is 0, the fraction will be 0/5. When the whole number is 1, our fraction will be 5/5 or 1 whole. When our whole number is 2, our fraction is 10/5. When our whole number is 3, our fraction is 15/5. And when our whole number is 4, our fraction is 20/5 or 20/5. I added the lines to show that there are 5 spaces between each whole number. That's what our bottom number represents. So once again, our bottom number represents how many parts are in 1 unit. So if we go from the 0 to the 1, that is 1 unit. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces. And the number on the top, guys, tells us how many parts there are in one, or how many parts there are that are shaded. So for example, when we're at the 0, we have 0 parts. When we're at the 1 whole unit, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts. So 5 will be our whole number. When we're at the whole number 2, we'll continue. So we're 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that 10 represents that there are 10 parts that are shaded. And then our bottom number represents from going from 1 to the 2, there are 5 parts in that unit. Let me change up my marker. And then we have 3 fractions, and it asks us to plot the fractions onto the number line. So there's 2 different ways we can do this. In A, I have the fraction 2/5. Right? 5 tells us the bottom number, or how many parts are in 1 unit. So all of our bottom numbers are going to be the same, which means we can plot these numbers on this number line. The 2 tells me that there's 2 parts. So I'm going to count, sorry, I'm left-handed, guys. 1, 2. So right over here will be my fraction A. This will be 2/5. 2 parts are shaded, and there's 5 parts in that unit. For fraction B, I have 19/5. Right, so one way we could do this is to count 19 lines, and then that's where the fraction will be. So we could do that. So we know that up to here is 5, up to here is 10, up to here is 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So right there will be fraction B. Sorry. Right there will be fraction B, 19/5. Another way to do this is to divide, or to change it into a mixed number. We know that 5 can go into 19 3 times. So 3 will be our whole number. rewrite that. Right? 3 times 5 is 15. And then we have 4 left. So 4 will be the top of our little number. So then my fraction will be 3 plus 4 fifths. It's just another way of saying 19 fifths. Right? So instead of counting 19, 3 is going to represent my whole number. If I look at the top, the whole number 3 is right here. And then I just have to count 4 fifths. Right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. And we get to the same spot. So either way that you would like, either count where the top number is 19, you can count the 19 lines and plot it there, or you can change it into a mixed number, see how many times 5 can go into 19, and then the rest will go over 5. And that's another way you could do it. And now what I want you guys to do, you can pause this video, is for fraction number C, which is 13 fifths, I would like you to plot that on this number line. Moving on to part 2. So for part 2, guys, we are multiplying fractions. Let me just get my copy right over here. So we have some that are 2 fractions, such as the first one. We have 2/3 multiplied by 3 over 2. But we also have one where it involves a fraction and a whole number, such as for part C, we have 8/3 multiplied by 2. So I'm going to do the first 3 with you guys, and then I want you to work on the next ones on your own. So parts D and E for this section, I want you to work on your own. When we're multiplying fractions, all we have to remember, guys, is that you're going to multiply the bottom numbers together and the top numbers together. So I'm going to erase this. And let me get my trusty marker. So we're on part 2 right now. And I have for my part A, I have 2/3 multiplied by 3 over 2. So very easy, guys. All we're going to do is multiply the 2 top numbers together. So we're going to multiply the 2 and the 3. And then for the bottom, we're going to multiply the 3 and the 2. So our answer will then give us 3 times 2 is 6, and 6 again. So our answer for part A is 6 over 6, or 1 whole. For part B, we have 1/10 multiplied by 3 halves, or 3 over 2. Once again, we're going to use the exact same technique. We're going to multiply the 1 and the 3, and we're going to multiply the 10 and the 2, which will give us 1 multiplied by 3 gives us 3, and then 10 multiplied by 2 gives us 20. So our answer for that one is 3 over 20. I will do one more example for you guys before you start or before you begin or try your own. For part C, it's a little bit different. So we have 8/3 multiplied by 2. So in part C, we have our fraction and we're multiplying it by a whole number. But remember, guys, that every whole number is over what number? You're right. Each whole number is over 1. So I'm going to put that 2 and put it over 1. And now it's going to be the exact same way. I'm going to multiply the 2 top numbers together, so the 8 and the 2, which will give me, you're right, 16. And then 3 multiplied by 1 will give me, correct, 3. So my fraction will be 16/3. Now you guys can pause this video and try to do parts D and E on your own. So for part D, you're going to multiply the whole number 4 by the fraction 2 over 9. And then for part E, you're going to multiply the two fractions 10/3 and 2/2. So pause this video and you guys can work on those. And I'll see you in part number 3. Part number 3, guys, welcome back, is going to be the exact same process. Except this time, we don't have any questions that have two fractions. They all have a fraction and a whole number. So I'm gonna do the first two for you, and then I want you guys to practice by doing C and D on your own. So once again, we are on part 3, and we're gonna do part A. In part A, once again, you don't have to print this. You guys can just access it online and then just write your answers on a separate piece of paper. If you would like to print it, you could. We have 5 multiplied by 2/2. So we have our whole number 5 and we're multiplying it by 2/2. So once again, what do we have to remember? We cannot multiply a whole number by a fraction. They both need to be a fraction. So the 5, which is our whole number, is going to be over what number? Correct. I have to put it over 1. And now I'm just going to multiply the two top numbers together and the two bottom numbers together. 5 multiplied by 2 will give me 10. And then 1 multiplied by 2 will give me 2. So my fraction will be 10/2, or 10/2. For part B, I have the fraction 3/3, or 3/3, multiplied by the whole number 9. Right, so once again, that 9 has to be or become a fraction before I can multiply it with the other fraction. The 9, which is a whole number, each whole number is over 1. And now I'm just going to multiply the two top numbers together and the two bottom numbers together. For my answer, 3 multiplied by 9 is 27. Sorry. And then 3 multiplied by 1 is 3. So what I want you guys to work on now for part 3 is to do parts C and parts D. For part C, you're multiplying 7/7, or multiplied by the whole number 3. And then for part D, we are multiplying the whole number 8 by 4/4. So once again, the first step is going to be to put the whole number over 1. And then you'll multiply the top numbers together and the bottom numbers together. And I will see you guys, you can pause this video now, work on that, and I'll see you in part 4, which will be the last part of today's video. Let me find, welcome back guys to part 4. Let me just find it in my book. Where is it? Here. So for part 4, guys, we are continuing to work on our difference problems. So I'll read what it says in the book. For part 4, some of these problems tell the difference number. Some of these problems ask about the difference number, and some of these problems ask for the name of one of the items. So we are given 5 problems. I will go through the first few with you as an example, and then I want you guys to try the rest on your own. Let me erase this board, and then I will write it out. I have also attached a picture that lists the prices of all the items. I can also just write them out for you guys here. So for part 4, you are given 6 different items in your textbook. So I will write them out for you guys here. So we have a bike, we have swim fins, we have a surfboard, we have a skateboard. We also have, let me see where they have it, a mattress. And then our last item will be a swim tube. So these are the items that they give you with the prices. So I will write the prices on here just to make it a little bit easier. So the bike costs $112.50. The swim fins will cost $37.80. The mattress costs $36.88. The surfboard costs $97.61. The swim tube costs $115.12, and the skateboard costs $94.94. So these are all of the items that they give you in the textbook and all of their prices. I have also added a picture that shows all of these images, or shows the image with all the items and all their prices. So you'll need this when answering the questions. So let's look at question number A. So these are all number families. So in order, when we're making a number family, right, we have our number line. Sorry guys, my marker is running out a little bit. I have an extra. So we have our number line. And then we have, for all of these, you will have your difference number. The difference number, or diff, will go at the beginning. This will tell you what the difference between two items is. So you're going to be comparing two different items. Keywords that tell you it's a difference question will be higher, lower, more, less, heavier, lighter. Words that are comparing, those will be your difference numbers. So any number that comes right before or right after one of those keywords will be your difference number. Then we have one box here, which will be or represent the price of an item that costs less. What do I mean by that? Because we are also going to be given two different prices. One, the bigger price, will always go at the end of your arrow or at the end of your number family. The item, or the price of the item that costs less, will go right before the arrow. So let's try doing one of these questions. For question number A, so once again, guys, we are on part 4 of lesson 54. A. I will read what it tells you in your book. The bike costs $14.89 more, so there's one of our keywords, than one of the items. Which item? Right, so if we're looking at this, when I'm making a number family, I need to draw my number line, or my number. There it is. Right, it had our keyword, which was more, which tells us this will be a difference problem. I'm going to write difference right at the beginning of my arrow. Right, and then the number that comes right after or right before our keyword, which was more, was $14.89. So that will be my difference number. Remember, guys, when we're dealing with money, I need to have my dollar sign and my decimal that separates my dollars and my cents. Just like that. So the bike costs more than one of the items. So the bike will be our big number. So I will write bike right after the arrow where the big number goes. And then the price of the bike is given in the textbook, which is $112.50. So now what I have to find out is the price of one of the items, right? So when I am looking for a small number, I'm going to subtract these two numbers. So I'm going to subtract $112.50 from $14.89. So I'll write it right underneath. I'm going to put my bigger number on the top. Remember to put my dollar sign for the first number and my decimals. And then I'm going to line up all of my decimals and all of my place values as well. Right, so my decimals are lined up, right? All of the numbers are in the correct place value. And to show that I'm subtracting, I need my subtraction sign. Now, all I have to do, guys, is I have my dollar sign for my first number, and I need it for my answer. I'm going to line up my decimal, and now it's going to be simple subtraction. 0 minus 9, I cannot subtract 0 from 9, or I cannot subtract 9 from 0, so I'm going to have to borrow. I'm going to go to the 5, borrow from that, the 5 will become a 4, which means the 0 is now a 10. 10 minus 9 is 1. 4 minus 8 I cannot do, so I'm going to have to borrow once again. I'm going to go on to where the 2 is. The 2 will become a 1. Now it's going to be 14. 14 minus 8 is 6. My decimal's already lined up. Now I have a 1 minus a 4. I cannot do that. So I'm going to borrow from the other one, which will become a 0. 11 minus 4 will give me 7. And then 0 minus 1 I cannot do. That'll be a 0. 10 minus 1 is 9. So my answer, guys, is $97.61. But we're not done yet. We know the price of the mystery item, which is $97.61. But we have to figure out what that is. So if you look at the picture, you could look in your text, which would be in your textbook. It would be the surfboard. So the mystery item is the surfboard. I will do one more example for you guys, and then I'd like you to try doing the others on your own. So I'll do part B. Sorry for the markers, guys. I know they're a little bit hard to see, but I'm doing my best. So we're going to look at part B. I will read the question out for you guys. It says, Jim has $13.24 more than the cost of the surfboard. How much money does Jim have? So once again, we have our keyword, which is more. The number that comes right before that will be my difference number. So in this case, my difference number is $13.24. Now, this will be where the big item goes, and this will be where the small price goes. Right, so remember, the item that costs more will go here, and the item that costs less will go here. So in the question, it says that Jim has more than the cost of the surfboard. So my big number will be Jim. So we're going to try to figure out how much money does Jim have. And the other item that's mentioned is the surfboard. So the surfboard will be your small number. So let me write that in. Right, we know the price of the surfboard, which is given in the picture, which was in your textbook, as $97.61. Right, so the surfboard is our little number. It costs $97.61. Our difference number is $13.24. And now we have to find the big number at the end of the arrow. When you have to find the big number, are you going to add or subtract? Correct, you're going to add the numbers. So I'm going to add $97.61 and I'm going to add $13.24. So let me write that out. Remember guys, always please show your work. I want to see where you're getting these numbers for your answers. So we're going to do $97.61. Once again, remember to have your dollar sign and your decimal. And then we have $13.24. Right, we're going to add these numbers up. So 1 plus 4 is 5. 6 plus 2 is 8. Line up my decimal. 3 plus 7 is 10. Right, but I'm going to write my 0 and carry the 1. 9 plus 1 gives me 10, plus the other one is 11. So my number, or the answer Jim has, $110.85. There's just one more thing missing. I need to have my dollar sign. And we are done. Right, let's write that in here. $110.85. That is how much money Jim has. So once again, guys, I want you to do parts C, D, and E. Try those on your own. For part C, it asks us how much less, which is your keyword, which tells you this is going to be a difference problem, is the price of the skateboard, than the price of the raft. Right, so once again, how much less is the price of the skateboard than the price of the raft? So in this case, you're going to try to find the difference number. So you have the other two items and their prices. You have to figure out what the difference number will be. For part D, Jan wants to buy an item that costs $59.81 less than the price of the surfboard. Which item does Jan want to buy? Right, we have our keyword, which is less, which tells us that $59.81 will be your difference number. Right, we know that the price of the surfboard is greater than the price of the item he wants to buy, so the surfboard will be your big number, and you have to find what the price of the little number will be. And then once you have the price, then you can see what that item is. And then for part E, how much more is the price of the bike than the price of the swim fins? You're going to be looking for the difference number. So you have what the other two items are and their prices. You're going to have to figure out what the difference number is. So you guys can pause the video now. We've come to the end. So that's what I want you guys to work on for today.